What's going on, Chad? This is Dr. Cheapest Sunflower back with another live video for the Hood the Hooded podcast. And really just to check in on y'all, man, because what the fuck? What the hell? What the helly? What the heliante? Shit is crazy around here. I'm in New York, so this is the hit the fan, my Niji. I see you to my Niji out there, sending peace and love to all the copper tone melanated beings around the world, and to all the kind beings around the world, and just, always sending love to the ancestors. Let's get a vibe check. You guys, this week has been pretty crazy for me. Let's switch the vibes real quick. Give me a second. I would like to play songs that I really like on my playlist, but I don't be trying to get no YouTube copyright strike. So yeah. My phone is dying. No. Let me update y'all on my status. I'm up to almost 1,000 on YouTube. So whoop to that. I hit my goal on Twitch. I'm at like 85 on Twitch. So that's bananas. And just growing on all my platforms, building the audience, breaking generational curses, talking about true shit, and spreading positivity and increasing our oral hygiene intelligence. What's up, Supreme Evening? We've been at war since 1492, period. Oh, T, clock that T was going on in Indiana. Man, people just don't understand. We've been at war since Christopher Columbus arrived. True facts, my meeting. People don't understand. True facts. Yeah, we've been at war for a long time. That's what I want to talk to y'all about tonight. This gonna get a little heavy. So, listen, I took me a shot because this weekend today has been like, what the fuck? I've been having a what the fuck day. Like, what? This guy is a liar. Yesterday it was 2 weeks, and I'm like, okay, we gotta worry for 2 weeks. Not worry, because we need you. We don't have to worry about shit. But what I'm saying is, from a reality perspective, me, I was like, what? I try to ignore all this politics stuff, but when it gets to stuff like this, I learned to kind of keep my attention on it a little bit. Because when I don't even want to say the word, the C word in 2020 happened, I kind of wanted to ignore it, but then it was here. I'm like, what? And it impacted our whole life, like everybody's life. So I try to pay attention because things are global moving now. Things don't just stay in one country. Things are global. We got the internet, we got TikTok, we got information overload, and we at motherfucking war. So that was just really shocking because yesterday when I was strolling, I was seeing my little TikTok politic people that I kind of peek in on, saying, oh, Trump said 2 weeks. I'm like, okay, what the hell? First it was, this year, Trump need to sit his ass down somewhere. Went from banning TikTok, that was an uproar. You did that didn't work. Then you went to the tariffs. I don't know what's going on with that because everything happening so fast. Then it went to the immigration stuff. Uproar, and now war. It's just going. What is next? 2025 is not the year I anticipated it being. It's very weird. It's out of control. But one thing I can say, the Niji are waking up. Because guess what, guys? This government, I should say, not this country. Because the country been here for thousands and thousands of years, but this government, like you said, you hit it on the head as soon as you stepped in the building. It's founded on war. From the moment Christopher Columbus stepped foot on land, he was KID, napping people, women, children, men on his ship. He would pull up. I read it in his journal. This was from his mouth. You don't need nobody else to tell you. You need to read what he wrote, what he said, what he did, and it'll make so much more sense. So he pulled up. He was taking people. Said, I gotta go show this to the king and the queen and where he was from. They cook before you know it. None of them will exist. Where he's from. So they've been doing this. But I found out some shit today. I was like, whoa, it makes sense now. So I'm going to take y'all down the rabbit hole. Go ahead and get you a little sip of water. Take a shot if you have to. I know it might be late or early, wherever you at around the world. But we got to talk about this because I can't believe we at, well, like you said, we've been at war. But, I mean, at war again. Like, where it's like active, a declaration of it. Of course, we've been POW since 1492, and people don't even realize it because everybody is like going with the flow. But I think now, with jobs being stagnant, the economy failing, the government really being broke, so they say, but they got money for war, but can't feed the poor. Still to this day, they're going in debt, making people overwork. People already at their limits. Groceries already high as hell. Now y'all messing with the oil. Iran, they control 20% of this little passageway that they bring oil through. So this is gonna mess with the oil prices, the gas price. So it just over and over again. It's just always something. The propaganda is just out of control. My Niji, how do y'all feel about what is going on? Like, am I overreacting or like, I don't know. I just don't know. I never thought that 2025 would go like this, but you can't really predict things now when you have this government operating in a fashion where they don't even communicate with each other. Like, what the hell? But the one thing I am proud of is the Niji are on the rise. Niji, my brother, my sister, my friend, the copper tone, melanated people around Turtle Island, aka Tamerica, aka West Indies, aka the Mississippians, aka all of these things, you know. It's no longer if you know, you know. It's like, hey, we kind of need to know these things. Because shit just hit the fan, y'all. It's hitting the fan, y'all. Okay. So, today, doing some research and let's see, where are my notes? I kept seeing, I don't know which one is most important that I should talk about first. I don't know if people participate, then it would be a war slash plastoline. What is a plastoline? Hello? I don't know what a plastoline is. Plastoline. Plastoline. Did you mean to put that if people participate, then it will be a war slash plastoline? It says plastoline is a technology it says plastoline is a technology developed by Julian Brown, a young inventor from Metro Atlanta, that converts plastic waste into usable fuels like gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel. It utilizes a pyrolysis process which involves heating the plastics at high temperatures to break them down into constituent molecules. This technology aims to address both plastic pollution and the need for sustainable energy sources. Julian Brown. Oh, wow. 21-year-old inventor Julian Brown converts plastic waste into fuel. Oh my goodness. I created my own gas station. Julian Brown Institute's a gas station that turns plastic bottles into fuel. What? He's Niji. What? Thank you for telling me that. Oh, wow. Let's pull him up. Julian Brown. I like this. Let me see. So you're saying, like, if they do cut off the oil from Iran, we got geniuses like Julian Brown around here turning plastics, which we already have a problem with pollution, into a usable energy source. What? This is the type of stuff that should be like super, super everywhere. Knowledge is power, man. I'm just trying to find an image. That is so freaking cool. Plastoline. Plastoline. See, they say you learn something new every day. Out of ATL. I'm so ATL. I'm so ATL. Hey, get in there. Wow. I'm not. Wow. So let's see. I'm trying to pull him up. So Julian Brown. Let's pull him up. Chat. I think this is worth a pause. Before we go any further, this is really interesting. All right. This is Julian Brown. And I'm going to leave this up here so you can see how to spell it. From waste to wealth? What? Now, this isn't a hood-to-hooded process, a generational curse breaking process, like so genius. Wow. That is crazy. 21-year-old inventor. This is an inventor. Julian Brown converts plastic waste into fuel. Plastoline. Wow. It says the power to end wars and pollution was in our trash. The power to end wars and pollution. Speaking of wars, that's what he said. The power to end wars and pollution converts plastic into gasoline. What? Now, I gotta look into this a little bit more, but I'm definitely gonna come back and talk about this process and this young genius. So shout outs to Julian Brown, man, out of Atlanta. Thank you for putting that into the chat. We love learning and growing. That is so cool. Alrighty. So let's see where I'm gonna start with this topic, because I can't believe we are literally at war, like officially. We've been at war. We know these things about, like, well, I don't know, we all know these things, but we know that Christopher Columbus came to the islands, not even the Turtle Island, and started, you know, he started this process of war. So pretty much America has been built on war, evilness, what else? Genocide, massive inequality, just all of the negative things the government is attached to. And as you can see now, people are like, oh my God, Trump did what? Well, this is kind of how they move. Like, they move and do what they want to, lawlessly. So, surprise, yeah, but am I really? Like, can we really be shocked at anything that goes on? You know? So, let's see here. I know I talk a lot about genealogy, so a lot of these things that we discuss on this podcast won't really make sense until you do your genealogy, guys. Starting with your census records from the 1800s to the 1940s, Freedmen's Bureau records, Dawes Roll, even though this was kind of manipulated, and just looking for keywords like mulatto, Indian, colored, house servant, etc. can tie you to being a Niji. So if you see an ancestor listed as a Negro in 1870 on the census, but then you go to 1860 and they have them as an Indian, then that's what we call paper genocide. So I love Ancestry.com. It's really cool. You can put pictures. You can do a lot. So just doing your family tree should definitely be everybody's hobby. Like, to know about yourself. Because just think about it. This is about your genes, where you come from, your family history. If you are so fortunate to be able to trace it back, why not? Why let people, tell you who you are? Why? But I'm just so excited that this information is just like overflowing. People are really paying attention because, this country is just so polluted with pseudo knowledge. It's polluted with war. It's polluted with racism. It's polluted with a lot of unjust, evil things. And positivity is just rare. Kindness is rare. People are just so at war, mentally, physically, spiritually, with working with, with the government, with the 9 to 5, minimum wage, $7.25. What the hell? A government don't care when they still have a minimum wage of $7.25. Come on now. They don't get a little flying. Fuck. You just know it. And I see a lot of people talking about land patents, and I really want to do more research on that. But what are they? Why do they matter? When people say, "Oh, when you identify as black, this is like a dead identity," because basically, if you're black, you probably haven't done your genealogy. You have the type of personality where you're like, "I don't care about that. I don't need that. Why do I want to do that?" Well, if you don't want to know about you, but you know about the presidents and what they did, then that's a primary example of being brainwashed or in the matrix, or just having that identity that says, I don't really give a fuck. So that's why the government can do the things that they do, lie and say they don't have no money for their citizens, but go and start wars and create more financial debt, because they have a printing machine now. They can print as much money as they want, which is why there's a problem. This is why there's BRICS. This is why all of these things are going on, because how y'all just had Doge, that was a thing just a couple weeks ago, slashing this, slashing that, slashing Job Corps, slashing help to the citizens, just slashing shit left and right. Now y'all got a whole bunch of money for war. You ready? I'm so fucking confused. Yesterday it was 2 weeks, now it's 2 hours. You just can't trust shit they say. But back to what I was saying. So land patents. So I see this a lot coming up as Niji. So I wanted to know, what is that? Why does it matter? How does it matter? Okay, so a land patent is a original deed from the U.S. government. When they say U.S. government, it's kind of it's federal, not state. It supersedes taxes and mortgage. If you prove your family was on that land, you may have inherited mineral rights, timber, and water access, which is why they stole our land, because this gives them right to inherit the minerals that are on the land, the wood that is on the land, and the water access. In New York, and it's probably in Florida too now. You know, when we were younger, we could go to the water, and my grandma, they love fishing. They were basically like the fisher tribe, like 'cause they love fishing. Like they would fish all day. I didn't know this is like an Indian thing, fishing. You can't fish now without a license. Like they got the water locked up to the point where you need a license. It's like, what? You need a license. You need permission to go fishing. Don't even sound right. Do it, my niece. You don't. Let's do some spiritual math. They can't create their bloodlines, only destroy. Hence, they need to broadcast to spellcast, we the creators, and take the spell and manifest destruction for them. Period. That is true. That's accurate spiritual math. It is. That is accurate spiritual math. We have a spell cast on us when we are under the identity of black. Think about it. What does that mean? So people get mad and say, "Oh, black don't have a culture." We did make black being black lit. We made the NIGG word, NIGGA word lit. YN, all this stuff. We made it lit, but really that's not our identity. That identity disenfranchises you from the wealth. And what I found out today, I'm gonna give y'all that little tidbit a little bit later. Help me unlock. Oh, this is why that level of brainwashing exists, and people don't mind saying, "Hey, I'm a slave," or "My ancestors were slaves." Because people who say that, I can 100% guarantee you they probably didn't do their genealogy. And sometimes, even when you see that on the records, there's a secret. There is a secret about it. But let's continue. So you can explore trust, land transfers, or reparative action. Your case can support legal tribal sovereignty efforts. Okay, so you're a legal successor to stolen land. So that's the biggest problem right now going on in Turtle Island is the land. The land is unhappy. You know, the spirits are unhappy. Spiritually, we're as a people, as a collective, are unhappy. Yes, there are wealthy people. Yes, there, but as a collective, it is unhappy sentiment. This is why we have to break the spell, get out, break generational curses. We have to break these curses because we don't know who we are. So that's land patents. So I see that a lot. And as I go back through the genealogy, I do see like deeds and land transfers, but I'm not really sure what to do with this information just yet. And I did learn that you go to the, what is it? The Office of the Interior. It's like the land management, but I got confused on the website. It was a little tricky, so I'm still working through the process to understand land patents. But this is original deeds to land that was stolen, so that's why this matters. Some people, I don't care about that, but that's just information because knowledge is power. So they hid the truth, because they wanted to separate us from the land. That's why they said, "Hey, you're not from this land, you're from a whole another land." And they got free labor out of it, and now it's still kind of free labor because 725, it's like you give all of your time away for money, and it's not, the math ain't mathing, the spiritual math ain't mathing, the real math ain't mathing. Nothing is adding up. I think everybody sees this now. People around the world are coming out and saying, "Hey, you guys, wake up, know who you are," but we still in this deep spell. It just doesn't click. And I know because I was in this false identity just a year or two ago. I've been in that false identity for most of my life until I actually started learning about me, not about what somebody said I am, but what I truly am from actual people who actually exist. There are records for it. That is the most empowering thing you can do, is just to know who you are, do your genealogy, and know the truth. So, as far as my ancestors, the Choctaw, the Muskogean, the Creek, the Seminole, aka the Appalachian, cotton was their currency. So, the thing about slavery that I learned is they want to make cotton a negative connotation, like, oh, y'all was picking cotton. I mean, we owned the cotton, and cotton was the king back in the day. We owned it. It was our currency. The land was our inheritance. It was a part of our culture. We made clothes. We traded it. That's why no other people are as attached to the cotton, but they made it a negative connotation. So, when in my old identity, when I was in Florida or traveling through Georgia, and I would pass the cotton fields, and it made me feel like, dang, like, it made me have a negative feeling, like, dang, about slavery, and it just made me so angry, like, dang, it just had that mindset, that Kunta Kinte mindset. And now that I know who I am, I'm like, wow, we were so wealthy, we've been robbed. Robbed. hmm But the most powerful tool we have, my Niji, is our mind. It is our mind. It's the most powerful weapon. To unlock your mind, to see the truth, is the most powerful thing you can ever do to yourself. No longer will you give your time away for money. No longer will you let somebody clean your face. No longer will you feel like your skin color is a degradation. You will know that melanin is an actual pigment, like from a scientific standpoint. It's a pigment that when the sun hits it, it turns different shades, like the brown that you see. It is a defense mechanism against the UV radiation from the sun. It blocks you from getting cancer. It protects your skin, which is the largest organ on the human body. It is a protection mechanism that people who don't have melanin have been trying to secretly, not even secretly, but just for a long time trying to denature or figure it out. And it's just a magical pigment, But if you let somebody who doesn't have this pigment tell you who you are, and their response towards it, oh, it's something bad, when it's really something actually pretty fucking cool, you know? It's cool. It's cool. Like, you one of the cool kids when you got the melanin, right? Cool kids. I'm just saying. So it's a war. But our most powerful weapon, my Niji, is the mind. It's the mind. Then it's your time. So you gotta take those things back. Let me get my shit. Okay? Let me get that. Let me get my time back. Thanks. Thank you. And sorry, not sorry. Let me get my mind back and know who I am. And only you can unlock that puzzle. I've been hearing about these indigenous movements for a while, but it didn't unlock to me until I did my genealogy. I ain't gonna even hold you. Heavy Christian, heavy, all that before. But it didn't unlock until I learned about my ancestors, my true ancestors. Like, oh my goodness, this is my people. It is so empowering to know your people, to know who you are, to stand on business, and to speak it with confidence. Like, you might be the only one in the room who done the research. Sometimes that's how it is. You're just a rare-minded person. And it can get lonely sometimes in the beginning phases of being a Niji. I'm still trying to find my tribe. Yes, I have a familial tribe, but now I'm trying to find a knowledge tribe. You feel me? Our minds make us X-Men. Period. All dropping bars. That's nothing but facts. Listen, I gotta give you facts on that one. Hold on. Yeah. That's nothing but facts. That's why our Niji sister made the movie Matrix. to let us know who the hell we are. We gotta know who we are, my Niji. Our mind, when you unlock your mind, it just puts you on a whole nother level to know who you are. So you're not afraid to control your time. You're really not afraid of anything happening to you because you know who you are spiritually. To heal your spirit is so priceless. But if you walk around, you don't know who you are. You think you're just black. You think you're people just from Africa, and your true history is all over the land. Your true history is actually recorded somewhere. You just got to take time to know it and unlock it and believe it, and not be afraid to learn new things, not be afraid to test the theories that you've been trained to know. You know, you see how Trump said it's gonna be 2 weeks, and he did something totally opposite. That's propaganda, my Niji. Make you look left while I'm doing, or make you look to the right while I'm doing something to the left. This is nothing new since 1492. Same trick. It's the same trick, my Niji. It's the same trick. The same trick, my Niji. But you dropped the facts right there now. Our minds make us X-Men. No movies about us. This melanin make you an X. What? X-Man, X-woman. When I read, I was like, why they didn't teach me this in school? Instead of saying, oh, the skin, they have you getting bullied when you have this chocolate skin tone as a little young kid, because they learn in some kind of way. The white kids learn, and even we learn, that black is bad in school. It's a bad thing to be chocolate. Because you attached to slavery, all this other stuff. Even as little kids, it starts very young. You have to empower the youth very young. Because it's like a system. That's why it's a generational curse. That's why I talk about it and express it, because people are scared to talk about it. They scared to say something. They scared to, you know. This is why the government moving how they moving now. And this is why they moving how they moving now, my DG. Like, we gotta wake up. We gotta wake up. And my phone is about to die. No. I gotta find a charger. No, I need my phone. But yeah, cotton was our currency, and this war is for our consciousness, not just for our vote, not just for our land. It's for our memory. It's like, oh hell no, they waking up, the memory coming back. They're learning who they are. We gotta make them unconscious again. We gotta try to do something to strike fear, to gain control. We told them we didn't have no money for nothing else, but some kind of way we got money now for war. Factual, to have your soul and vessel in alignment is a great feeling. Most are scared to be the outcast. In fact, so many are 3D and never stop to think we're floating in space. Yeah, so many are afraid of the truth. I was afraid of the truth. That's why I feel like I'm the perfect advocate for this topic, because I was one of those people raised in the church, raised with religion, a straight A student in the educational system, feeling like I'm fighting for the American dream, a hard worker, 2 to 3 jobs, just giving my time away for money, paycheck to paycheck, like just believing in the system, just falling for every tactic, not even understanding who I was. And the longer I did that, the more depressed I felt by not knowing who I was and just continuing to fight and fight and fight. So out of alignment. And then when I learned who I really am, it's just empowering. And to know who my ancestors really were, instead of the what history books in high school try to teach, or what society try to teach, or the propaganda that exists, the colonization, the Christopher Columbus lies, things like that that try to push the narrative. Oh, cotton is bad. You you know, like we didn't have any attachment to cotton that was in a positive light. This is just our land. They just turn everything around. They just turned it all around. I need you. They just turned it all around. And it's sad. I didn't know. Asking questions change everything. Exactly. Asking questions. It changes everything. It changes everything. Change everything, guys. So you gotta really know who you are, honestly. I'm just trying to see if I should plug my phone up because it's gonna die on us. And I think I need to go get my charger. Alright. So cotton didn't start with slavery. Cotton has been in America for 5,000 plus years. We've been cultivating cotton for an extremely long time. Okay, it was grown by ancient civilizations in southwest U.S., Mexico, and Peru long before Europeans. Our Niji ancestors, the Choctaw, my ancestors, the Creek, the Cherokee, etc., grew cotton as a staple crop. So who do you know always connected to the cotton? Um, the Niji. Okay? Yeah, it's the staple crop. We knew how to do everything with the crop. Slavery narrative was weaponized to make us think cotton equals Africa only, and it's not. They lied to make us forget we were producers, builders, and landowners before colonization. They turned the land into plantations. They were in search of the, I think it's the cacique. I'm probably saying it wrong, but it's the king. They will always search for the chief of the landmass. The Mississippians, where is your chief? As soon as they pulled up on any island, on Turtle Island, any piece of land on the interior, they were looking for the chief. They already knew to go find the chief because this is who controls the people. They would, you know, do these acts of terror, get the chief gone, and then who was ever left, they turned them into POWs and said they were from Africa. And said they were a slave. And then they enslaved them and took the land. Yes. Yes. So we didn't come on boats, we were already here. Now that's the big secret. So some people will say, my ancestors, you know, it's all a big lie, even with the cotton. I was so shocked today, just learning this. I was like, just so sad, man. They told you were Africans, but if you go back far enough, you found out most of us are Niji, copper tone indigenous people of Turtle Island. So they changed Indian to Negro, colored, mulatto, and then finally black. They just said, fuck all that. We finna just call them black. Just give them a color. We ain't gonna give them nothing. You notice I said give. This is not what you call yourself. Your ancestors called themselves. This is what colonizers told you to call yourself. Alright. So the Indian Removal Act pushed Niji off ancestral lands and renamed us. 1880 to 1940 census records show forced racial identity changes. So if you go back and look at your census records and it says colored, Negro, mulatto, black, then you were reclassified from Indian. Why? Because if you're not indigenous, you cannot claim land. If I say you not from here, I brought you here, I force you to believe this, I do the Pavlov's dog on you, you know, I keep telling you this, and now you telling your own self this. You teaching your kids this. I'm teaching it in school. Nobody ain't saying nothing, you know. Christianity schools and psychological warfare. Boarding schools strip children of language, culture, and heritage. Okay? Missionaries were agents of the state reprogramming. They were forcing us to pray. Bible indoctrination replaced sacred traditions. This was systemic identity genocide. So people would say, what were we before this? We were spiritual beings, healers, herbalists, engineers, creators. But they just convinced us that we were now just black, brought from somewhere and just given some help. You know, it's a sad history to believe. Like, it's so, I don't know if I'm completely comfortable 100% standing on business completely, because I'm still learning. I'm still in the learning process. But that's the scariest thing to do, is to unlearn. You have to go and do something out of the norm, out of your comfort zone. So to learn something out of my comfort zone and to see the reprogramming and how I've been caught in the matrix, and to see, you know, this war happening and how it is tying to history, it's just unlocking a whole nother level for me, where I'm just growing in the spirit. I'm getting back in alignment with who I am and unafraid to learn. When you start being unafraid to learn and you only learn what you've been told to learn, that is the primary example of colonization. But when you challenge yourself, you test that knowledge, you read. Because in order to be a leader, you have to be a reader. And you can't just read one book. You got to read lots of sources from different time periods. Not just what a colonizer forces you to read or picks for you to read. You got to read something on your own that you like to read, especially when it comes to learning about yourself. King James was a murderer and people still read the Bible. Yes, and he also wrote the book of demonology. Yes. You know, people still vote, even though the presidents, the first ones, they were mass enslavers. They still put them on the money. Andrew Jackson, he was a mass enslaver. In my hometown, Tallahassee, aka Appalachia, aka Florida, aka Tallahassee, he adopted Robert Butler. So in Tallahassee, you will have Lake Butler, all these things. This was named after a general who was Andrew Jackson's adopted son. So when they came to do the Seminole War and all of that, they came down and they unalived a lot of people in my hometown, right? So Andrew Jackson gave Robert Butler 900 acres of land. 900 acres. And they renamed a lake after him. So there's Lake Jackson, which is actually named after Andrew Jackson. And then there's Lake Butler, which is named after his son, adopted son. This is the type of land grabs that they did when they committed these atrocities, but they still put him on the dollar bill. They still put him on the 20. They still call him president. They still call him hero. According to the government, these are heroes. Trump, to some people right now, is a narcissist. He is a dictator. But to the powers that be, he's their hero. So you might be like, why? What? He's a hero in their eyes. In our eyes, it's like, what the hell? In their eyes, it's like, he's a hero. So that's why you got to know who you are, because the hero's different depending on your identity. If you Nietzsche, then your heroes would not be the president, because these are the people who are the actual leaders of the movement that disenfranchises us from our land, that approves laws that disrupt our sovereignty, that puts us under these spiritual spells that you talked about earlier, that destroy the bloodline, that have you thinking that you can't even go and research who you are. You won't even. Okay, say we said, Dr. Sean, what you're saying sound crazy. Say you thought like that. Well, do your genealogy, because that is facts. Okay, those are facts. Doing your genealogy, and you will uncover a timeline that don't align with history, and you will be shocked. Okay, so that's why this war is crazy. I'm still just in awe of what's going on in America, but I know that the Nietzsche on the rise. That's the only positive thing going on that I can see, is that the Nietzsche movement is on the rise. Like, it's small, but people are learning who they are, attaching themselves back to a culture, a people, and not being afraid of, you know, standing on business about it. This is what we have to do. I was on YouTube earlier, and they had the first American Indian press conference, and that was pretty cool. It kind of got cut off, but it was on YouTube. If y'all want to check that out, just so many people waking up and coming together and just fighting for our sovereignty. When you think about a life of sovereignty versus a colonized life, I want to have a sovereign life. I don't want nobody over me. I don't want to be forced to be this religion, or to be a worker and have my time destroyed, and now I have to work until I'm old and gray. And you have the political system, the police. Like, it's just so much stress when you're not sovereign. I feel like a life of sovereignty and self-governance, and just being with like-minded people in your tribe who understand the true history, who are trying to heal from the trauma and breaking these true generational curses, not living a pseudo life or living in a matrix, or just being spiritually constipated all the time and paycheck to paycheck and confused and working for money and all of these negative ass things. I'd rather have a life of sovereignty, where the government don't have no say so in who I am. They don't tell me my identity. I detach from that thinking, that King James mindset. Yo, what's up? What's up? I just want to detach from that whole way of thinking and be in my own creative vibe, my own spirit. So that's what I had to say about that. So if you're going back and you're tracing, oh, I was a slave, I was a this, then you have to do more research, because that is actually the trick. If they would classify you as that, that's a colonization tactic. All right. So I was also strolling, and once Trump said 2 weeks, and then he went back and did it in 2 hours, I keep seeing the word sleeper cells popping up, and I was like, what the hell was that? Because it's always something new. Like, listen, you got to stay on point when it comes to these days, because every day I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I try not to get into politics, but right now, what's going on, especially from a Nietzsche standpoint, we have to keep our eyes focused on growing in our spiritual knowledge, but also, like, what's going on. If you have a business, and I don't know, I'm just in a transition period where I'm trying to stay in the know, but not let it stress me out. Not really give the government any, I don't know, energy. But some things you got to be aware of, I guess I could say. Because this is an active war going on, like you said, since 1492. So even though it doesn't feel like we're in the matrix and a part of this active war, I would say a cold war, Now it's a hot war. It's a hot war. Because sleeper cells, psychological warfare in WW3. Okay? What is a sleeper cell? A sleeper cell is a convert group that lives quietly undetected until they are activated for sabotage, terror, and political disruption. Okay? So it just talks about what happened, you know, with 9/11, how those were sleeper cells. So this will be people on this continent who have integrated into society and they lie dormant until needed. That's a sleeper cell. So I'm like, what the hell? So that's why there's such a high alert on for major cities like New York, LA, Miami, these large cities because of the sleeper cells, which is very, very, like, I don't know, that's a little scary. Alright? That's pretty scary. That's kind of crazy. But we have to remember who we are, my Niji. Because it's not just a physical war, it's spiritual, it's psychological, it's economical, or economical. Did I say that right? And it's cyber. TikTok, that was a cyber war. They wanted to cut TikTok off just because of the information that's floating and how people are communicating across the continents. People are learning. People are breaking the pseudo history and they're learning who they are. And it's a spiritual war because, we have so many people battling with different levels of the spirit. Psychological. Just like Trump playing on your mind, like, oh, we're going to not do this, and then they actually do it, or playing with tariffs, and it's all mixed up. It's all mixed up. So you just have to protect your mind. They did that in 2 days because they don't have time. It's about to get really real, but on a comic level. If you scared, I got a razor blade. Said that's why they did that in 2 days. It's about to get really comical. I don't know what's gonna happen, and I'm not really like scared at all, but it's just like alarming. I would say, like, what? And I just always remember 2020. I was like, oh, that's overseas. That was my mindset. Like, oh, that ain't over here. And then before I know it, my job was impacted. My whole life was impacted. A lot of people's life was impacted the moment I didn't pay attention. So now I'm like, wait a minute, let me see what's going on. So knowing that they have these sleeper cells and things like that, it means you kind of need to be careful. But that's every day. Be careful. Just protecting our aura, discerning, and having that chosen one energy. Okay? Because we can't overlook what's going on completely. You just have to be discerned. Cosmic. Yeah, I don't know what they got going on. I don't know what they got going on, but I think it's more psychotic what's going on. It really is. I'm just trying to connect with like-minded Niji and keep the knowledge flowing and figure out how we can continue to, um, you know, Get out of this matrix. Get out of this matrix, guys. Every day I wake up, it's something new. Every day I wake up, it's something new on the freaking news. Every day. I'm just thinking about, the troops being dragged into this. I mean, it's like people are mad. Like, I'm in shock a little bit. But people are mad. They're saying he did this without Congress approval. But, I mean, I don't know. Zach B. As a dentist, is there a particular procedure you especially enjoy performing? Much love, doctor. I mean, I don't know if I love doing extractions. I don't know, I don't like the reason why I have to do extractions because normally that means the tooth is hopeless, as we call it. It's hopeless, there's no hope, or the patient just doesn't want to save the tooth. But I love doing extractions because, it's instant gratification for the patient and for me as a doctor to eliminate the pain, to remove a diseased tooth, and to just help people. But I just like the whole procedure. I like extractions. If I could have been anything, I probably would have been an oral surgeon if I wasn't impacted by life. But yeah, I love extractions. Great question. Very good question. But yeah, guys, I don't know what's gonna happen this week, but I know it's gonna be a crazy week for us here on Turtle Island. Are you a dentist? Yes, I'm a dentist. If you have a question, you can drop it in the chat. I'm a dentist and a dentalpreneur as well, which is very hard. Being a dentist, associate dentist is hard, and being an entrepreneur is like a whole nother level. Can dentists tell if you? Oh my God! Mm-mm. You said I'm serious. Oh my God! You just might have to be an oral surgeon one day soon. Not on paper, on sovereignty. Period. Yeah, I had to undo the chat because that's just like, if you're asking a serious question, I never really look at it like that when I'm doing an exam. And I don't know if you just being a troll or what. Do I need to block you? I don't think they're gonna be able to tell that. We mostly focus on the teeth. Okay? If somebody has some issues where they worried about oral cancer or something like that, we focus on the teeth. That's a little bit too much. Now, if you trolling, I'm gonna block you. Hopefully, you're not trolling. Hopefully, you really asking that as a question. Dang, my storage on my computer is running low. Oh, it's the only thing about streaming. I'm running out of space. I'm serious. Yeah, we don't really pay attention to that, so you should be okay, but you just caught me off guard. What the hell? We talking about war, you talking about, you saying you serious. Where are you living? Where is bright out? It's called lighting. That's probably the craziest question I've been asked as a dentist. Right here tonight. Like, what the hell? What the hell? That is the craziest question I've been asked as a doctor. What the hell? I feel like you been a troll, man. Why you trolling, man? Come on, man. The thing about it is most people brush their teeth before they come to the dentist. So hopefully that is not the case. You asking some crazy shit right now. Out of order. Out of order, man. We don't check for that. I'm gonna tell you what dentists mostly focus on: cavities, decay. So if it is something that is in a teeth like that, we're gonna think it's decay, not that. What? Say what? Hold on. Say what? Like, wait a minute. I don't use fluoride in my toothpaste. That's fine. That's not mandatory. Some people think that it's toxic, but studies and research have shown that, you know, it does provide some level of prevention of cavities. But as long as you're brushing and flossing your teeth and not walking around with the poo poo mouth, like you just mentioned about, you know, having that in her teeth, I only use baking soda and hydrogen peroxide. As long as you're brushing your teeth, baking soda can be a little abrasive. So you want to be careful with the baking soda because that can cause sensitivity in the long run. So yeah, baking soda is very abrasive. So maybe just find a toothpaste that doesn't have fluoride so that you don't have a potty mouth. Yeah, that was the craziest question I've had on as a dentist. Like, what? What the hell? But yeah, guys, just stay focused this week, man. I need you. Don't let this war and what Trump doing get us sidetracked. Let's continue to learn and grow and stand on business about who we are. Brush and floss your teeth. And I just don't know after that. I don't understand. I don't know. Like I said, every day I wake up, is something new going on. As I stroll YouTube, I know I'm gonna see what's going on in the world. I hope I don't get drafted. I hope you don't get drafted either. That's the thing. I don't think Trump thinking because his son ain't gonna get drafted, so he don't give a damn. He just think he calling the shots. He think he just, you know, he's not thinking about people's families. He just had people over there in California for the protests with no food, nowhere to sleep. Now you got the troops going, getting ready to go to war. Like, and this is just all happening way too fast. Like, I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I don't know what we can expect tonight, tomorrow. We just still need to remain positive and continue to wake up and continue to spread the truth. And that's it. Spread the truth, guys. Because they are out of control with the dynamite. They're out of control. I hope nobody gets drafted. I hope. Iran is saying though, they like, oh, we gonna do something. Like, we just not letting this slide. That's what they saying. They not letting this slide. And I think they already sent some strikes to Israel. And honestly, I can't even believe I'm talking about these countries on my live. Like, what? This podcast is to help people go from hood to hooded in the mind. Meaning go from Nigga to Niija. To go from a mind where you are truly empowering your brain, correcting your identity, knowing who you are, and being unapologetic about that shit. Even if you have to stand alone in the room. Me, I'm still trying to find my Niji across the world, across Turtle Island, all over the world. I often feel alone at times in this journey, especially online, but I just know that the truth is going to get me exactly where I'm supposed to be, connected to the right people. Because I can't believe some of the things that I learn and that I see on a daily basis that continue to make me wake up and recognize who I am. Which is why I will continue to show up, chat with y'all, test theories that seem a little suspect, and not be afraid of the knowledge that I learn. I'm just growing so much and connecting with so many different people, and it truly empowers me. It empowers me to see how much we are creating this movement. I'm interested to see what the next level is. I see people are unifying. I think that's the next level. So a lot of people are like, well, what we do with this knowledge? What's the next step? The next step is each one teach one, and that we unify with the knowledge. There's so many things in place, so many tools that we can use, but first, unity. I feel that unity is key. Boots on the ground for love, boots on the ground for communication, boots on the ground for having those tough conversations, boots on the ground for testing what you know and not just believing everything that you've been taught. And for genealogy research, I will continue to push doing your genealogy. If you're unsure about the things that I'm talking about, you just a little like caught off guard with it, do your genealogy. It is fucking mind blowing. Like, it changes your whole perspective on life. Like, what? It's the best move I could have ever made. It's something that I wish I would have known about as a child, honestly. To know who your great great grandparents are, and it's just mind blowing. So that's gonna be key for the remainder of the year to help us get in alignment, to rebuke these distractions, because they're all over the place. It's always a distraction. Every day I wake up, it is information overload. So the propaganda is about to get really heavy out here. The propaganda is just about to get really heavy. So y'all just gotta stay safe, my Niji. Stay safe and still cherish the day. Like, don't let this have us in fear. Still cherish the day. Love on your people. Get with your tribe. Continue to be creators. Continue to stand on business. And just show up for yourself. That's why I show up for this live. And last week was really tough to show up for the live, but I still show up for the live because I'm on a mission, y'all. Like, I am on a mission to grow and to step outside of my comfort zone. Going live all the time, it is definitely getting me out of my comfort zone, but my consistency muscle is growing. I'm getting much stronger with the process of, showing up like this. I'm learning that, hey, sometimes that first support that you have on your journey isn't the people you expect it to be. It's a whole new set of people, a whole new set of eyes. You're venturing into unknown territory, and sometimes that can give you a little anxiety. It can have you with a little fear. Most people won't go live because they're afraid that no one's going to show up, or they're afraid that it won't be perfect, or you won't know what to say. But you just got to do it. You just got to do it. If this is what you want, you just got to do it, guys. If you want to start that business, you just got to do it. You can't worry about what people think. I feel like that stops a lot of us from moving forward with our dream and our destiny. Is worried about what people think, worried about the trolls, worried about if something don't go right, or just being afraid a lot of the times. Being afraid to truly be yourself. That is dangerous. To be afraid to be yourself. To be afraid to know who you are. And that's not a place that I want to be. I don't ever want to shrink myself, to shrink my history, to shrink my ancestors. Okay, let's talk about it. Clock that T. I don't ever want to shrink my my ancestors to be a title that they are not, just because it's the common thing to do. You know how they say favor ain't so common? Neither is this type of knowledge. It takes a special mind, a genius mind, to unlock the next level of knowledge, and not to be afraid of it, and to know the power and the potential that you possess with just going deep into your mind. Breaking those spells and those curses that have been placed on you. Speaking more abundant thoughts into your life, because you know you are what you think. So if you think that you started from nothing, you think that you're gonna end with nothing, then so shall it be. But when you say, I shall have an abundance of good health, I will have an abundance of free time to do the things I love, I will have mountains of joy and happiness, I will have 0% fear, I will find my tribe, I will be wealthy mentally, physically, spiritually. When you speak those affirmations over your life, and you believe that you can be more than what you were told that you can be, you break those stereotypes. Just because you started from the hood, just because you started from the struggle, that don't mean shit. You are a born overcomer, born to thrive in the face of adversity. People gonna call you crazy. They might not understand you. They don't understand your story. They don't understand what you've been through. And that's okay. Get out of your comfort zone. You headed somewhere great. So many people are afraid to stand on business because they worried about what their friends gonna say. They worried about what their family gonna say. They worried about what a hater gonna say. They worried about what they own brain gonna say. That's called self-doubt. Instead of moving and walking in your purpose. Sometimes getting to your purpose, walking in your purpose, it don't really look like how you thought it was supposed to look. It's a whole nother animal. It's a whole nother identity. But when you do start to walk within your purpose, only then can you unlock the next level of your greatness and tap into the abundance of generational wealth the ancestors left in your memory. The whole goal of colonization, pseudo history, war, all of these laws, is to trick you out of your spot and to break your spirit. And now is a primary time where a lot of people are broken hearted, broken spirited, because they thought the American dream was real. For some people it is real because they work hard and they don't let nothing stop them. They don't make excuses. They still just overcome adversity. But for a lot of us, America can break your spirit. It's like one issue after the next. But you just can't give up now. You can't throw in the towel now. Continue to create. Continue to show up for yourself. Continue to learn who you are. We're living in crazy times. Crazy, crazy times. And I just don't know. My phone just died. And I need my phone, but we're going to keep it moving. We're living in crazy times, guys. So this week, just stay alert. Just stay positive. And, I mean, just continue to know who you are. Doing my genealogy is a daily process. It's a daily journey, but it's what keeps me grounded and knowing who I am and focusing on my ancestors. So that way, another motherfucker can't tell me who I am and where I come from. You can clock that T. You can clock that T. So that's why, my Niji, my Mary Indians, we are fighting a war that we didn't ask for, but we just always been involved in this war. So we just gotta come together, man. A lot of us won't come together. A lot of us don't believe in coming together, but we gotta come together. So I will continue to, show up here on the live, put myself in awkward situations, and I don't know. Try to figure this thing called life out, cause I don't know. Like life be life, and as you get older, you try to figure out life, and it just life is weird. When I was a little kid, a little girl, I didn't imagine life being like this. But as I come out of the matrix, more and more and more, as I grow more into my identity, I get stronger. But it is very tricky, confusing times. And then my thing is, every time I try to tell somebody who we are or try to wake people up, they always be like, what's next? What are we supposed to do with that information? And it does put you in a place where you're like, well, what we do next is that we continue to find more information. We continue to collect receipts, connect. And after that, it's like we got to fight for our sovereignty. And that's a mountain to climb. That's a big, tall mountain to climb. And I feel like that's our biggest mountain to climb, because sovereignty has been locked out, and colonization kind of closes the gate with sovereignty. And it's a thing that you have to do for yourself, because it's not going to be handed to you. And I feel like we got into the mindset where we like things handed to us and created for us, and if the government don't do it, then we don't believe that it's real. If it's not on TV, then it ain't really true. So sovereignty is one of those things where it's going to be an uphill battle, because it's something that we have to give to ourselves, do ourselves, for us, by us, police ourselves, show up for ourselves. It's kind of like me with this podcast. I show up, night after night, and I'm working on my consistency, because it's something that I've lacked. I don't think I've always lacked it, but as I get older and I see how life be lifing and this shit be adulting, I be like, what the hell? A lot of the times. Because I'm a big dreamer. I believe in dreaming big, but now it got me feeling like, dang, everything is skyrocketing. This is not what I imagined it to be. And coming from poverty, coming from the hood, maybe I'm making a couple wrong turns somewhere. You know what I mean? But life is a journey. My knowledge is fluid, and I'm just here to try to figure it out. So many people try to act like they have it all figured out. Well, listen, baby, listen, I don't have it all figured out. This blueprint is still in the making. And every day we just hope that we can add a little bit of progress in the right direction towards our purpose. You know? That's what it's about. Just moving towards your purpose, moving towards your greatness, and trying to figure it out on those dark days, trying to figure out on the days when you maybe don't know what the hell you're doing sometimes. Oh man, my computer is tripping. Is my stream still going? I don't know. Yes, I'm still live. My computer is tripping. I need a new computer. I've been going live so much that now it's starting to crash out on me when I'm live. So that's an issue. So yeah, I don't really like that, but I still show up. Today, I'm probably gonna end this pretty soon. I feel like I done got all my little oomph out about this war. Sup, is this real? Is what real? Oh, I can't see your comment. Why can't I see these comments? Let's see what you said, because my comments is not showing up. Sup, is this real? You're not using that mic you have, LOL. Are you using OBS to stream? You have to add an audio input. The mic you have up to your face is not working, LOL. What do you mean? You can't hear me? I'm so confused about everything you just said. I use Streamlabs. I tried OBS before, but I don't know if I really like it, but it seems like maybe OBS might be better than this. It's using your computer or laptop mic, whenever that is. We can't hear you, but you are using some other mic. Open your Streamlabs and add an audio input, and add this input to your microphone. I'm so lost. I'm lost. If it's not working on Kick, then I just have to hang up my Kick. I'm ending this anyway, so I'm so lost. Yeah, guys, I'm getting out of here. What you? Thanks for the help. But yeah, guys, I'm out of here because it's like you can't hear me. Maybe you can't. I don't know. It's just too much there. I can't with the. I can't. So I'm gonna go back to my live and see if my sound was working. But I had to just mute the chat real quick because it was just giving like doing too much, doing a little bit too much. They could hear me perfectly fine on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. So if Kick, you can't hear me, then I mean, I'll have to fix that later. I'll check it out later. But I'm getting off here anyway, so whatever. I'm getting off here anyways, guys. I will see y'all tomorrow. This has been a crazy live. Thank you for chatting with me, everybody. Y'all are crazy, chat. I'm quick to turn my live off. Oh, thank you to all my new followers on Twitch. We almost to 100 uh, followers, so that's really cool. 100 followers. Woo woo. Any more questions in the chat? If you can't hear me, okay. Any more questions in the chats? If not, this is Dr. Cheat This Sunflower, and I'm about to hang it up, guys. I'm about to hang it up. So we just gone. I don't know. Stay positive tonight and see, and hopefully we don't wake up to no crazy news tomorrow. We just need a little bit of time where some crazy shit isn't happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just need him to like fall back from the dictatorship. Honestly. Tell your mans to falls back. Okay, but my computer is tripping and I'm out of here. I will see you guys tomorrow. Make sure you brush and floss your teeth tonight. Peace.